Okay, as you can see, we've got the little sack all dotted up with the, just sort of give it that little effect of a polka dot red thing we've got here. Okay, we're going to work on the hair now, and I'm going to use a gray color for the hair. And I'm going to show you, we're going to do sort of similar to what we did another time, where we use the gray and then we use the white streaks to accent the gray, because he is a hobo, so I mean you don't want him to look too fancy. Yeah, you don't want him to look too good. I mean, most hobos didn't dress. I love the life of hobos. I mean, it's and I love to do them because they're such colorful characters. Hobos, there's a lot of what is known as tramp art. That they said when the hobos traveled, they did a lot of them did carving. They didn't carve necessarily pieces like this, but they did what was called tramp art, and it's a little bit hard to explain what it is, but it's sort of like they made cardboard boxes, and when they got through with it, it's sort of like what is related to chip carving today. It's sort of boxes. They took their pocket knives, and with boxes and stuff like that, they designed similar to what a person would say is chip carving today. They just sort of put designs. They didn't. I don't know. We don't see a lot of little figures that they carved or anything like that, but they did that, and that's why hobos are kind of fascinating to me. A lot of you that are younger don't think about hobos because a lot of them occurred during the Great Depression when people, the stock market crashed in '29. And people are out of work, and people travel. Hobos travel a lot, the railings and things like that. So it's really an interesting thing to life to discover or to kind of look at is the life of a hobo. But a lot of those hobos were not, we didn't want to give them a bad name. There were people that stayed hobos the rest of their life. But most of them were men that during the Depression were just out of work, and they didn't have work, and they had to travel, and a lot of them didn't have any money, so they traveled the rails to try to find a job or whatever, and so that's actually how hobos got a lot of your hobos. Now there's always been people that's traveled the rails and stuff and the trains, but it was during the Great Depression that these hobos really became more noticeable and more popular, and basically they were just poor people. They didn't have much. Okay. All right, there's the gray that I have painted for you here. And let me come back with, let me let that dry, come back with a little. Okay. Okay, we're going to let that dry for a minute. But that's really the life of a hobo. That's where hobos got started. Basically, I know they've been people that have rode the rails and stuff, but it got started during the Great Depression when people were just out of work. And there's now there's the hair. Now we're going to take let me see if I can find it here. All right. Anyway. Kind of get that. Now you see how we're looking at this now? See how we're looking at our piece right now? Just sort of go over your piece and look at it. You know, look at some areas maybe that you missed, or maybe you have to repaint a little bit, or whatever. Just sort of give it the once over. Okay. Now, whoop, I'm sorry, I'm living in a limited space right here. Okay, now we've got to let this dry. Now I'm going to go ahead and paint the cigar, and I'm going to use just a brown in here. Just like that, on the cigar. And remember, we come back with a little black on the end of it. Put a little bit of black on the end of it, right like that. There we go. Take a little flesh tone and hit this in here again, around there. And then remember we said we'd take a little red, take a little bit of the red oxide and just barely hit the tip of the cigar to kind of indicate the